This community is not a safe space for these disgusting people to hide.
All I could feel is this hands, something like that should never happen anywhere.
This is supposed to be an escape, and for a lot of people they're now trying to escape it.
The furries are a fandom that have taken the internet by storm. They are a community subculture who are interested in anthropomorphic animal characters, meaning they enjoy animals showing human-like qualities. They essentially enjoy dressing up in fluffy animal suits, going to conventions and events.
People in the fandom say the culture is centered around expression and art. Many furries say their so-called persona, which means their animal alter ego, is a form of escapism through which they can get away from harsh realities of life.
In fact, furries have even made their way into popular culture and onto the catwalk at this year's Met Gala.
The furry fandom has hit the headlines on a few different occasions, mostly being linked to an influx of children who are identifying as animals at school.
Or because people are fascinated by the kinkier side, with claims that it's its own fetish.
And while a lot of this seems to be a misconception, the community certainly celebrates and promotes sexual freedom.
In fact, a survey at Furry Fiesta 2013 found that 96.3% of male respondents and 78.3% of female ones reported viewing furry pornography.
And this isn't surprising, considering the furries have roots in anthropomorphic porn. So we wanted to look into this further.
But what we found was that behind the guise of fluffy animal suits, there was a hotbed of allegations of sexual assault and grooming.
Many people, in fact, even shared their stories online, and one group of furries were even imprisoned in Philadelphia in 2017 for sexually abusing a boy.
And authorities believe there are likely other victims and perpetrators.
And a growing number of people are saying that the fandom is failing to safeguard members of the community from predators infiltrating the groups, and in some cases running them too.
An anonymous source, who we called Tim, opened up about his experience of grooming and paedophilia on a public forum and explained why he didn't want to go to the police.
I discovered the internet when I was 9 or 10. I was a member of a furry chat for a few years and made a few friends. There were some really strange people though. Being around 13 to 15 at the time, I was pretty immature and I was desperate for attention. People took advantage of that. They groomed and sexted with me knowing I was underage. It was consensual, but looking back, I couldn't really give consent due to my age. Many people showed me their dicks, and one person even convinced me to send nudes of my 13 to 15-year-old body.
Another active figure in the furry community even reached out to tell us why he's become disillusioned. He also wanted to remain anonymous, but he told us,
"I've been involved for years, organising events, trying to bring out the best in people. But sadly, like so many spaces, it was overrun by abusers and the people covering for them."
YouTuber Luke is a graphic designer who attended one of the meetings and has spoken about when he claims he was sexually assaulted. He agreed to give us a call and tell us about his experience.
I think my only negative experiences was the sexual assault experience, what I had to endure, unfortunately. All I could feel is this hands or this person, well not really hand, this person on my shoulder, kind of like hugging into me. This person basically did it without asking and essentially dragged me off into a corner of the room and it just attempted to lay in my lap. I basically said made an excuse that I wanted to go to the restroom, and he wanted to follow me in for obvious reasons to him. So I made an excuse saying I need to speak to a friend first. That's how I got away. I had a few friends there at the time. Turned out that they was assaulted by the same person. I ended up speaking to the staff. They said that they was going to be dealing with it. They spoke to the guy about it. They didn't ban him or anything. Something like that should never happen anywhere.
This community is not a safe space for these disgusting people to hide. It's not. You will be called out, and we will do everything we can to call you out, because we do not want you to paint this community for something it's not. We're not a place for predators to hide.
Phoenix has been part of the furry community for years. He has experiences with the dark side which he doesn't want to relive. He hopes one day it will be eliminated.
I won't go into what happened to me personally, but when I did go through what I went through, the amount of people that supported the guy was sickening. As welcoming as we are, there are things we need to start, talking about more openly. We need to take account of some of the things that have happened and, how serious they are, and we need to stop brushing over them so quickly because, there is a lot of safeguarding problems here that are being brushed over. This is supposed to be an escape, and for a lot of people, they're now trying to escape it.
Despite issues with safeguarding, being a furry is still incredibly popular. There's up to 3 million people in the community worldwide.
Phoenix explained why he is still a part of the fandom and talks a bit about the more positive side of being a furry as well.
What originally inclined me was a Comic-Con back in, I want to say 2017 maybe. No, even earlier than that, it's got to be 2015. I went to this convention with absolutely not even an inkling as to what these things were, but midway through the con I just saw these 2 giant fluffy animal costumes and I just went, that's what I want to be. I want to be one of those. That's where I belong. And I went home and I did my first ever fursona. And ever since that day, I have been a furry, and I was about 11. I take these characters and I basically express myself through them in whether it be the suit, whether it be art. Mostly art is the cheaper option. But yeah, it's for me, it's very much art-based, it's creativity-based. It's just expression, really.
So what is a fursona?
A fursona is a anthropomorphic character, whether that be a dog or a bunny or, it could be a hybrid species.
Can you tell us a bit about your fursona?
Which one? I have a lot of them.
This one right here.
So this is Diesel. So he's got like a whole backstory and everything. I draw him in pieces of him doing his job because my characters, they have jobs, they have lives and things like that. So Diesel is a firefighter. That's, what he does in his spare time. He's a very charming and outgoing character. He's he's quite flirty. He's very outgoing, a little bit like me sometimes. But yeah, he's basically an expression of things I wish I could do in day-to-day life, but I can't. So I shove them all into him, and that's what he does. When I'm wearing this suit, I am chaos. It makes me so happy. You put the suit on and instantly just your worries, they fade, they go. It's like when you put this suit on, you are masking everything negative in your life that's going on, at least for me. It hides all of that, it melts everything away, and I'm so happy with him. The events are, it's basically where the furries come together to hang out. It's a bit difficult for us to just call each other and be, hey, do you want to meet up in this park and dress up as giant animal costumes? Because that's going to go down so well. Because it doesn't half the time. But the events, when they're carefully thought out, it's always fun. Well, it's definitely not a secret that there is a sexual side to it. It's a very big, I want to say it's a very big part of who we are.
What sort of drawings do you make?
I'm what you call a multi-style artist. I don't stick to one specific style, I have a range. And I also do draw artistic nudity and not safe for work pieces. Whether that be, just someone's come up to me and asked, hey, can you draw my character in this position? Can you draw them doing this? And I'd say, yeah, absolutely. Or if it's me and my friends, it's never necessarily a sexual thing to begin with. It's just, hey, here's 2 characters, draw them in this position, and that's what I do. A couple of months ago, I actually, my friend had recently got out of a relationship, and I was like, hey, do you want me to draw you some really funny artwork of mine and your character together, just for funsies? And they said to me, yeah, why not? And that was the outcome. I drew her character in red rope, shibari, and my character was just sort of towering over the top of her. And it was a sensual piece. You know, it was erotic. That was the whole point of the artwork. But that doesn't necessarily mean there's anything going on between me and her. She's my best friend. And there's actually a few pieces of my character, her character. They have an entire story together. They have backstories. They've got, you know, these characters, they have lives, and I really like to implement that through art, even if it's in an erotic sense.
There are thousands of meetups each year, all over the world, and people generally see it as a way to explore artistic and sometimes sexual desires without judgment.
But does more need to be done to ensure everyone is safe?
Well, I did make some good friends, did make some good memories.
I want to see this community painted in the light it deserves. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous place. It is beautifully, beautifully displayed. We are a community of creativity and art and passion and expression, and that's what we deserve to be known for.